Welcome to Lead Poison.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Lead Poison podcast, brought to you by youcanpaint.com.au. Please head to youcanpaint.com.au for issue 1 of their how-to series, How to Paint Your House and Save Thousands. My name is Jack, your host, and this evening on the show we are joined by the infamous Benji of PK Crew out of Sydney. Benji has been immersed in the Sydney hip-hop scene for well over a decade, with solid releases spanning back to the early 2000s. His candid, raw and honest personality is reflected in his music, and his dedication to rapping and live shows has made him a respected figure by many throughout Australia. Benji's latest release, Krumbs, can be found in the show notes, along with all of his past releases. It was a pleasure speaking to him about his music and creative process. I really enjoyed the discussion and I hope you do as well. Without any further delay, please welcome Benji Pk. How are you, bro?
I am well, mate. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for the fucking awesome podcast you do and the awesome people you have on. You've had legend after legend, and I appreciate what you do for the culture and the scene and the community.
And here we are with the great Benji Pk, mate.
And here we are with me. Yes, the biggest and the best, of course.
I guess first off the bat, I know you're from Sydney, but did you grow up in Sydney? Where did you go to school and everything?
Yeah, mate. Balmain Primary School, Glebe High School, a short intermission in Turramurra, but we don't talk about that. That was I don't like it around there very much.
One side of the bridge.
I've always been an inner west gentleman, but I have been lucky enough to live all over the map, really. But yeah, Sydney still. Sydney born and raised and glued.
Yeah, 100%. Beautiful city, man. I mean, I've moved away from Sydney a couple of times and yeah, I had to come back, man. I fucking love it here.
Fair enough, yeah.
Where did you get into hip hop, bro? Was that during school? I know you've been doing it for quite a while.
Yeah, for sure. That was in school. I've always been, like musically minded. Always had passion's always been music. My family is musical. My father is a fantastic jazz trumpeter, but he certainly was when he was younger than me. My mum we had a piano in the house, which my mum insisted I learn, which I resented at the time, but I'm fucking grateful for now. Has been known to play violin in orchestras before too. So yeah, my dad is the kind of dad who used to put some Doobie Brothers on our car trips and explain to me why this is good music, and I'm gonna talk you through why. That's education. So yeah, school without a doubt, but hip hop. I mean, like American hip hop probably since ages of 8, 9, whatever. Like most fellas in the scene. But Aussie hip hop. I think the first Aussie hip hop that I heard that I thought, oh, this can be done and this is cool, would probably be MC Trey. From there, I think the first. Actually, Shinky Row as well was one of the earlier fucking ones I got, which maybe not one of my favourite groups in the world, but Resin Dogs, back when I was in primary school, they were fellas that I sort of used to, like and respect, but more because they were just hip-hop that was from Australia, which was I was just sort of searching for anything that came from the country. But the first time I heard Australian hip-hop and thought, oh, shit, we can actually not just make hip-hop, but we can make dope hip-hop. We can make street hip-hop. We can make gutter shit. We can make gangster shit. Was when I was about 12 years old and I heard Cannibal Tribe on 2SER. Cannibal Tribe, fucking Holy Sinner, Mr. Karma, and rest in peace to MC Raw. And I heard their track, Circus. Life is a circus. Trying to reach the surface. It's like we're cursed with. What's the purpose? And I just heard that line, fucking, I think it's a Raw line too, where don't worry about the flow. I don't care if it's slow. Midnight died 3 months ago. Another fucking overdose. Why can't we learn? And I thought, God damn, there's not a tinge of Americanism in that. That is Aussie as fuck, and that is gangster. Shit, it can be done. And so I think from when I heard that, I like, yeah. I mean, in fact, Cannibal Tribe says it best with one of their own lines where fucking Mr. Karma says in Crazy Days, don't ever say that shit doesn't happen down here because we're here and we make things happen from the streets to fucking rapping. And I was like, God damn, I want to be like them when I grow up. Anyway, that was, which I think they would have advised me against. You know, Holy Sinner, I've like been into his solo stuff a lot as well. And when I got to meet him, he's a mad supportive lad. He's like, but yeah, so big. I mean, it would be quicker to list the rappers I don't like, but you know, like, I mean, fuck. From Sydney, pretty much every Sydney rapper I fucking love to death, like fucking from Cursor to Kid Leroy, but you know, Billy Bunks, Taunts, fucking check, mate. It'll take me too long to list everyone, you know.
Well, that's good to hear, man, because I think like the scenes kind of has a lot of, well, it's good to hear that you've got positive things to say about a lot of people in the scene, because sometimes there can be some negativity. You know, and a little bit of competition. A little bit of competition can be good, but it's good to see, you know, someone like yourself is really bigging up a lot of other MCs because, as you said, Australia and Sydney's got a lot of great musicians.
I had to grow into that mentality though, bro. Like when I was a teenager rapping, you know, like, you know, the PK Crew album, if you listen to that, me and KO and Stats, we were all about, I think there's a song on there called Fuck Every Rapper. I think we were trying to be like Lyrical Commission with the whole, you know, I hate the scene fucking, which we kind of felt at the time, but like, I don't know, I think with some age, I've decided like we're all just trying to, you know, make music, aren't we? So why should any of us be enemies, really? Fuck, there's enough real beef in the world without fucking hip-hop beef, so.
Well said, for sure, man, well said. Your first releases and tracks, was that some of the first music you were working on? Or were you working away just sort of, you know, in your bedroom, writing raps, getting into it before you started putting shit out?
When I was like back 15 or whatever, I was like, before I met KO and Stats and DJ Dodgy and started PK Crew, I was just sort of working on tracks here and there, and that became I'm Not a Rapper, which was my first one. You can only get that on SoundCloud at the moment, but, you know, search Benji Pk on SoundCloud and you can find it. It's free for all now.
Yeah, I was listening to a couple of tracks off that just before, actually. That's about 12 years old now.
I think it's probably, I mean, it's probably one of my better albums. I think I sort of started strong and then managed to, I think, well, heroin addiction will certainly have the quality of your work drop a little bit if you're not too careful.
You know, speaking of your current stuff as well, man, I think you've been releasing music for a long time, bro. And the stuff you've been putting out recently, I think it's been really good, man. I think it's pretty quality. And it seems like you've been putting a fair bit of work in. Has the pandemic sort of intensified your writing or anything like that?
The pandemic has caused me the same problems that it's caused everybody, but the problems the pandemic presented are really nothing compared to the problems that being in rehab, being in jail, or being homeless presented to me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, having warrants out for my arrest caused more problems with me trying to get music done than the pandemic did. You know, like every crisis is an opportunity is the way you think about it, isn't it? Like when the pandemic hit, I was like, well, I can't do gigs. Not that I was getting a fuckload to start with, but can't do gigs now. What'll I do? Oh, okay. My mate's got a looping pedal. Time to fucking do some gigs in my kitchen. Shit, they were abysmal, but they were fun. So, you know, if you would rather make music, if you won't let anything stand in the way of you being creative, then nothing will stand in the way of you being creative. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
every time that I was stuck in a rut and not releasing stuff, I could make excuses that it was the cops' fault or drugs' fault or jail's fault or whatever. But the fact of it is, it was me just not being in the right headspace to make music or release good music, rather. We make our own reality. But you're not here for me to fucking give you some guru shroom talk, so let's fucking go.
I like hearing about people's lives, man, and I got a lot of respect for you. So to hear, you know, you just sort of what's behind the scenes and what's happening in your life, and it's interesting to me anyway. So just touching on that, and I know you sort of want to move on, but you mentioned, you know, you mentioned jail and being incarcerated. Without being too specific and going into details or anything, but does that experience sort of have a massive negative effect on your life in terms of creativity and just how you do things, or is it the other way around maybe?
I would wager that most people would agree with me that the hardest part of jail is the first 2 weeks. So The line, I mean, I've done, 6 months long, which I've done. I've never done a big line lag, and I've been very lucky. I've never done more than a year. But the longer ones were easier than the short ones, especially because on the short ones, I was in drug withdrawal. 2 weeks in Surrey Hill cells with no cigarettes, no sunlight, cold showers, the smell of cum and shit everywhere, and just having to be on your toes and being sick and, being in heroin, fucking having heroin, having to be in withdrawals. That first 2 weeks, that MRC, Surrey Hills, that's much worse than getting sent to the main in Bathurst or getting sent to, I got to go straight to excellent. So honestly, my longer lagons were a fuckload easier than the short one. Like the longest 2 weeks of your life. The 6 month lagons, that can kind of fucking go pretty quick. You play some Sudoku, you get your methadone dose. I was working in the kitchen too. That made my life much easier. Shout outs to all of the X-Wing kitchen staff, and thank you so much for the feeds, boys.
Did you do any writing in there? Any writing raps?
No, I wrote raps, and my good friend DJ Skay, who was helping me at the time, was good enough to take some collect phone calls off me and record some freestyles and put them out. So if you look up, I don't know what he called them, Benji Behind Bars or something like that. There's some very bad quality freestyles out there. Oh, shit, they're on my mixtape. There's a mixtape that you can only get if you're a member of my Patreon, but unless you've got the CD of it, the CD might be out there somewhere.
So tell me what you've been working on lately, man. I know you've. When did you release your last little project?
Last little project was I'm Not Guilty, keeping with the I'm Not thing. First album was I'm Not Guilty. Second album was I'm Not an Addict. Third album was I'm Not Done, and I kind of thought that might be my last album. Then I did an album called All Over Again, and then an album called this mixtape, This Ain't a Mixtape, and then the last album I did, most recent. Oh, and then, had a release with Nebs, shout out to Nebs, called Nobody Knows Anything. You can still find that under Benji and Nebs. And but the most recent one is I'm Not Guilty, which I'm really not, but which actually the cops had to admit because I just found out they dropped 3 of the charges which they had no evidence for. I said, cool, does that mean I get compensation for you guys fucking breaking everything in my house and getting me evicted? And they said, good joke, mate. And I said, give me my Molotov. Not what I'm actually going to do because, I just like talking that way. Makes me feel better about the fact that I'm impotent and helpless. But so I'm Not Guilty was my most recent album, but coming out in the next couple of days is the single Pie Krumbs, which you can see the video for now. Thank you very much to everyone who's been showing support on that, especially Greeley and Husky and Lazy Grey and every one of the other mad cunts who gave me a fucking shout out. I have to pinch myself a little whenever rappers I respect give me a salute. So Pie Krumbs, your video for that's out now. It should be available to stream, download everywhere. I guess after midnight tonight. And big shouts to Craw for the cover art too. Thank you for that. For the camera work for the film clip.
It's a good track, man. It's a good film clip too. It's quality, bro.
Thank you very kindly. Thanks to Dean, my teacher at SAE, for helping me mix it right.
Oh, okay. Did you go to audio school there?
I go to SAE. I've got the friggin' diploma. I'm going to get the bachelor degree. This is about my 8th time trying to get a piece of paper saying that I can make music. I'm sober this time, kind of. So it's like, Well, this is. I think I'm doing better this time than I did every single other time I've tried to go to school.
Well, it's a fair whack of a course, man. I know a few people that have. Even the diploma itself is pretty intensive.
I guess so, but goddamn, it's fun, man. I love it. I'm actually at the stage where I'm able to appreciate that kind of stuff now. Like, I think I had to wait till I was over 34 years old.
Yeah, that's the way it is. You get into your 30s and you start realizing what you actually care about.
Classroom, yeah, it's weird, man. They should start school at 25, bro. Fuck all this
trying. Fucking oath. I think so. A lot more shit would stick, I reckon.
No, man. Yeah, bro.
So are you looking at your your music studies? Is that specifically just making tracks with that, or are you looking to Man,
if I can make money off of making music in any way, shape, or form, then I'll be a happy fella. I want to make music for movies. I want to make I'm going to make music for video games hopefully soon. I want to try to access all facets. I've been making some fucking reggae songs and jazz songs and shit. Yeah, it's cool. It pushes your boundaries. I recommend everywhere to go. They're not paying me to say this, but I do recommend everywhere. Everybody go to. If you don't go to SAE and you do love music, we basically get free education in this country. we should take advantage of whatever little bit of socialism they give us.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, I did a little bit of audio engineering back in the day, and I didn't finish because I was just fucking around. But the little bit I did learn, I mean, it helps me with the podcast. It's just good shit to know, man. Basic stuff, you know, computer skills, how to like line up mics, and just simple shit. It's really handy. You sort of mentioned live shows before. What's sort of post-pandemic? Are you looking to get out onto some stages and get some stage time?
I've had some fun fucking live shows back in the day. We supported Curse from the Rates. Big shouts to them. That was fucking mad back when we did that in I think 2017. Fucking according to them, I gave them their first gig, which I can't remember doing, but I will claim that. I don't know. Yeah, why the fuck not? Eh? No, big shouts to Rates. I'm fucking hopefully got something with Rates coming up soon. Fucking big shouts to Curse as well. Big shouts to all ABK. So supporting them, that was a hell of a fucking laugh. Fucking like, yeah, I mean, at that Are You Okay gig, I was lucky enough to play with like Anna and Husky and fucking who else is there? T-Rex, I think. Fucking I'm sorry, man, I'm bad with names. I've had some good gigs. I don't think we used to have a hookup who gave us the international supports, but I think I've grown older and realised that he actually used to just give us the international gigs, like supporting De La Soul and Public Enemy and whatever, because we would happily do it for free.
Pandemic aside, what's your current feelings about hip hop in Sydney? Are you excited about all the shit that's going on? It's kind of, there's a lot of different sort of styles at the moment. And
I'm sad at the state of the live music scene in general for everybody, but in terms of hip hop in Sydney and in Australia in general, yeah, it's honestly, hip hop's gotten to a stage where I never thought in this country, where I never thought it would get to. And I had a line on In Your Face, on my first single, where I go, Oz hip hop will not get you famous. And how fucking wrong I was, man. Like fucking people have been able to blow up and make careers out of it in ways that I didn't think was possible, which at first I was kind of like, oh, that's whatever. I'm trying to be a purist about it and acting like I was above that or some shit. The truth was I was just jealous. Then I went to admit that I was jealous, but now I'm now I'm just like, it's fucking awesome, bro. It's awesome to see people you knew. Like I fucking like back when I was starting out, like I was fucking seeing Enter fucking doing his first gigs, now seeing where he's at now. That's fucking dope. Like seeing, you know, like I said, seeing Curse and Race do their first gigs and then seeing where they're at now. It's fucking, it's awesome, man. It's like, it's because it's everything that you know, that people like that say it is. That my teachers said I could never do this. My fucking, you know, people said I'd amount to nothing, blah, blah, blah. People said I was wasting my time making music. People said this wasn't even music. People said I thought I was black. People said I thought I was American, whatever the hell. I mean, you know, I mean, not that we don't have just as many black rappers as white rappers in Australia, but that's another beautiful side of it, man. I think that also, like, in a way, it's kind of, I think the fucking way hip hop's blown up with so multiculturally has sort of helped combat racism a bit too, man. Like fucking Kobe D, big shouts to fucking Kobe D, and Bad Apples and all them, like fucking, like, I don't think that fucking, I don't really think there is a better way to, like, you know, to make people's rights, to make Indigenous rights, to make, you know, low working class rights, to make, you know, minorities' rights, like there's no real better way to fucking make your point made than through music. Because if you can write a song that someone loves, they will, in a weird kind of way, be forced to listen to what you're saying. And even if they don't agree with it, it's probably more likely to. Anyway, I'm rambling. I am very fucking proud of every single rapper who's come from Sydney who's made it big. I am now officially proud of, and I would like to retract our fuck every rapper song.
I don't know if you can do that, but hey, that's the evolution of being an MC. You know what I mean? You go through a lot of changes for sure.
Life is a journey, ain't it? All that good shit.
Yeah, bro. Have you found that your content in your bars has changed over the years? But you know, aside from on that one song,
changed as much as I've changed, but not in the way, not in like I don't do, you know, I don't write love songs. I don't, you know, I haven't. I try not to write fucking misogynistic songs anymore. I try not to fucking, you know, put homophobia in my songs anymore. I'm sure it still creeps in there sometimes, but, you know, I try to fucking not be the bigoted teenager was, you know, back in the day. But not really, though. I mean, my content hasn't really changed that much. It's more like I just, My content hasn't changed. My perspective has. That's the best way I can say.
The music that I've heard of from your most recent releases has been like the messaging's really clear and it's like really crafted quite well. And that's why I asked you if you've been working on your writing through the pandemic, because I can see it. I can see that it's sort of evolving.
My writing and more just me kind of like just understanding, like just growing into myself, bro. That's just me growing up, being more sure of what my beliefs are and me being less insecure kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't write any songs to fucking make anyone think I'm cool anymore.
How often do you write? You writing every day?
Not every day, but I do write. Actually, yeah, every day. Maybe not lyrics every day, but I work on something every day. Yeah. Like, what is it? Stephen King reckons he makes himself write 10 hours a day, even if it's shit. But fucking, so I'm not saying do that, but I do reckon that, yeah, keeping the swing of it and all that. I reckon that's the fucking. I'd go through ruts where I would, tell myself I was taking a day off, and it would become a week off and a month off, etc., etc., etc. And yeah, like fucking, I'm trying to get out of that kind of mindset. Yeah.
Are you a pen and paper type of guy, or are you on your phone?
The rapping into the phone thing, I think that's probably like a lot more efficient than what I do. Like, I'll give you an idea. Okay, I've got my book right in front of me, but just to give you an idea of what, no one's going to be able to plagiarize my shit, because this is just a quick glimpse at my.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's kind of all over the fuck. Oh, that's upside down. Not that you can tell. Oh wait, is it? No, that's the right way up. Lots of scribbling out and arrows to show that line actually goes there. But yeah, I'm more pen and paper. I'm pen and paper style for that reason. The fact that I prefer to cross it out.
Yeah, I find when I was writing a fair bit, if I was writing in my phone, I'd be quicker to forget what the fuck I was writing about than if I had to write it down on a piece of paper. Where you are, you recording at home and shit, you got a little studio set up at your place, or?
Yeah, big things over here, man. Check out my excellent soundproofing. I've got that's some kind of foam. I whacked that in there. I'm very proud of my new Audio Technicas. Shout out to my little brother Sam for the fucking Behringer C1, which is not the cheapest vocal mic in the world.
What are you programming with?
I'm all on just all Logic. Logic and my Korg MIDI keyboard thing. Yeah, I want to fucking up my hardware game. Like every time, like I'm jealous of everyone who's got an MPC, but I think I'm also kind of at that stage where, like, old man new tricks kind of thing. I don't think I've really fucking like I reckon I might get myself a drum pad. I've got a loop. The newest pieces of equipment I got that I've been having fun with is the looping pedal, which I just do for the beatboxing for the fucking live shit. I'm trying to bite Tom Thumb's steez.
Yeah, how long you been beatboxing? Was that you were doing that since you were a kid?
Actually, I started. Beatboxing since I was like 7 years old, bro. Teachers called my parents to school and said, "Listen, Ben sits in the back of the classroom making these noises. He's just at his desk, just." I don't know. They sound like maybe he's imagining explosions, or I got my snare from Jackie Chan's punch sounds. In Jackie Chan movies, when he punches someone in the face, it goes in the guts. It goes. Just the Rivals, the One Long Warrior. He taught me a whole lot, and the Haywire, and all their beatboxers, and of course Tom Thumb.
Shit, man, I remember Haywire. Fuck, I haven't thought about that dude in fucking ages.
Never was there a more fitting name.
Yeah. Man, he used to busk in Chinatown. I think I met him a few times there. Yeah,
and in Pitt Street Mall, he did the thing. There's a whole lot of fellas that I think he's sort of inspired. I see a lot of fellas with the speakers and the pedals now.
Yeah, I wonder what he's doing now.
Yeah, he called me a while back from Adelaide, and I think he's just chilling out back there.
I saw you did a track with Listic, man. That was cool to see.
Fuck, I'm glad you mentioned him. Yes, I did a track. A fucking king, man. I love that guy. So, right, yeah, I saw Listic. Actually, I should have mentioned him. I saw Listic at Pact Theatre, I think, in near Carriage Works. Like, I think it's anyway. I can't remember where. I was like 14, I think, and it was like a talent show for kids from the block, for kids around Redford, and all these little lads got out and did their raps, and that was dope. But they were all like 7. It was like a primary school talent show, and then the lights went down and this lady led Listic on a stage. And I was like, damn, that's a big guy. And then I realized after a little while that he was blind, that he was leading him on because he was blind. And then, bro, that beat went and that voice, that fucking, why you sitting in the jail cell, don't you realize that you're living in hell? And like, I've got a whole lot of respect for Listic. He makes his own beats. Motherfucking eyes, just some fingers and a drum machine. Yes. I would encourage everyone under the sun to go look up Listic. Find his album, if you can, find his album, The Benchmark. It's a cool album featuring KRS-One and K-Rino too. He got him on there. He's a fucking champion, Listic, bro. His mum's a sweetheart too. A big, gentle Samoan giant, that lad.
Yeah, man. And it's he's decent, man. His raps are really good. He's got good rhythm.
Simple. His style is simple, but it doesn't need to be anything more. It's not like it's so effective, bro. He's not about doing multis. He's about getting his message out, and he does it fucking well, bro. Yeah, he was good enough to rap on one of my beats. Yeah, so we didn't actually do a track together. I just made the beat, and he jumped on it. But I don't think I feel adequate. Bringing my fucking white boy wasted style.
I was waiting for your verse to kick in. I was like, fuck, this is gonna be hectic.
We do have another posse track where he's on there and me and Dolzy and KO all rap. We're over a trials beat actually, but I don't know if it'll ever come out. Like it kind of one day maybe.
Well, if I can find his album, I'll put it in the link to the show if people want to hear it.
It's my beat, but that aside, it's a fantastic track written by him.
Yeah, man, 100%. So tell me about your Patreon on that. So you've got Patreon and Linktree and everything.
My 4 biggest fans in the world. No, I love Patreon guys so much, man. Like fucking, I tell everyone they only have to pay $3, and every time I think this is stupid, I've got to get rid of this thing. Someone else joins up and starts giving me $10 a month. Basically, they just get. Look, if you join my Patreon, you get access to all my film clips, which means all my embarrassing film clips. All my good film clips are on YouTube. All the ones that I wish didn't exist, you can see on Patreon. And you can see all the you can access This Ain't a Mixtape. You can access all of my SoundCloud tracks. You access that way. Every now and then I'll send you a message telling you you're a sick. And if we ever meet at a gig, I'm obliged to buy you a beer. Patreon, it's just Benji Pk Patreon. And thanks to every single one of those lads who supports me through that because you're a rare breed. I'm a poor person, so every now and then a $50 windfall is actually an awesome thing.
Yeah, fucking oath. I mean, supporting other creatives, I reckon, is heaps important, man. I've been like buying bits and pieces off people lately.
I met one of the fellas. I won't say his name to blow him up, but like over in Newcastle, one of the guys who was on my Patreon met me at this battle that I was doing, and was like, "Yeah, bro, you gonna go home after tonight? Come crash at mine." And he let me crash at his, made me bacon and eggs in the morning, shouted me cones all night. You not only like pay my pension, but you also like provide me accommodation. Like
sharing the love, man, for sure.
Where would we be without our supporters? So.
Well, look, you can spend $50 at fucking Kmart on plastic bullshit. You know what I mean?
I can't, so I'm not going to tell anyone what they can and can't spend their money on. But I do appreciate every last one of them.
How did you go? I was watching some of your battles. What do you think of battle rapping? Is that something that you're looking to do again, ever?
Big into it when I was, probably from the age of like 16, mid-20s kind of thing. Still love it. I still do enjoy it. I shouldn't say I still love it. I still do enjoy it. I respect, but I don't like as much the new kind of style of battle where they act like it's a boxing match where they say these two guys are going to be battling on this date. They know who they're battling. They get to basically write their raps. They do it a cappella. Whatever. It's cool for what it is, and I guess I kind of respect it, but I wouldn't enjoy doing that myself. The thing I love about battling is not knowing who you're going to be up against, not having to freestyle the whole thing, not knowing what the beat's going to be, not knowing what they're going to say, possibly fucking up completely. I like the whole flying by the seat of your pants thing about battling. The battles I came up on were at the Lansdowne Hotel, where it was like the days of like The Tongue and Scotty Burns and Schemo, awesome MCs whose names I'm forgetting. Arrow, Gabby, they're like heaps of battle rappers, heaps of really skilled rappers and really skilled freestylers who probably should have blown up, but never really did outside of the battle scene. It's weird how like battle rappers and songwriters for some reason don't So I guess it's like the Juice thing, you know, the whole thing, you know, the greatest battle rapper in the Juice, and he's like, you know, Juice, that fucking
for sure.
Eminem and Scribble Jam, and
100%.
I don't think he signed.
Yeah, it's like two different worlds, really, isn't it? Kind of, it's strange. Yeah,
it's similar to stand-up comedy, I think, in a lot of ways. It's got that. It basically is stand-up comedy. You know, to put it one way, it's, you know, if
someone's comical when they're rapping, they're going to get more of a response and more likely to win the battle.
That's the go. You know, threatening to slash someone's throat never wins over someone. You know, someone saying that. I don't know.
Something clever about your sexuality or something.
Yeah, Steve Buscemi and Nicolas Cage had a kid or whatever.
Yeah, some of those places like Lansdowne, Annandale Hotel, they were good venues, man. And a lot of those places are gone.
It is a sad thing. I remember the night when the hip hop gigs got shut down at Lansdowne by the alcoholic scum Charlie Fenton, who used to run the place at the time. Apparently there was a stabbing, and then on the night after that they said, no more gig, which was me, because no one, when the night they cancelled it, no one there stabbed anyone. Well, they were just there to fucking... Anyway, whatever. I got kicked out of there when I was winning a battle when I was 16, and they said, come back on your birthday. So on my 17th birthday, the wonderful hip-hop Sydney scene... told everyone at the Lansdowne that it was my 18th birthday, and I got to celebrate it and do my first gig there, which the love was real, man. It was great. It's great. Like, yeah, the scene, I guess it's because the scene was smaller back then, it was more, and because it was so uncool, because it was actually pretty fucking, you get kind of made fun of if you were a rapper. Like, I mean, I know that's been said a lot, but I think that side of it led to a sort of more tight-knit feeling of like a more kind of, like the graphers and the rappers all really, I don't want to say it's like you've, whatever, been in the army together or some shit like that, but it feels like you've all, like the old school fellas, I don't know, it feels like you've all been, not like I'm an old school fella, I'm fucking young compared to them, but, you know, like, I don't know, there's something, it feels like you have some kind of connection that doesn't really exist anymore. Like, there's so much music getting made in people's bedrooms and getting made, you know, it's possible to become a star now without ever really having to meet anyone else in the scene. Networking is sort of, not even networking, just like sort of friendship, sort of camaraderie, the sort of brotherhood that there used to be like, you know, the whole like the support I used to get from the old graphers, like the graphers, the old school graphers, like supported me and mentored me as much, if not more, than the old school rappers. Like fucking Death Wish Cast and dudes like fucking Rivals and all those fellas fucking, without a doubt, like Celsius, you know, Surek, all those fellas, and you know, Surek's a fantastic, Unique is a fantastic fucking artist as well. But but guys like Game 2 and guys like fucking Game 2 more than anything, he did the artwork for my fucking first album cover. But like guys like Game 2, guys like Score, people like Spice, people like Fada, shouts to Farts, people like Tavern, fucking people like the whole Sydney, all, you know, like Schemo, like Ray Cotty, all those freaking fellas, people who maybe weren't even rappers, they were just hip-hop fans and like supporters of the scene. Without a doubt, they supported and mentored me and helped me, I guess, get to where I am now as much as any rapper did. That was kind of the beauty of the scene. It was like it was all one thing. All the beatboxers, the DJs, the rappers, all of that. We were all a friggin' team in a weird kind of way.
Yeah, man.
It was much rarer for people to be... And to be honest, me and my crew might have fucked that up a bit. How fucking... me and some other crews like that with... not to mention any names, but with some attitudes that were held by members of my crew of, we will fight any cunt who wants to fucking look at us sideways. We will fucking, like, when I look back at all the friggin' punch-ons that happened for no fucking reason, the bridges that got burnt unnecessarily, it kind of makes me ashamed. But hip-hop scene are good-hearted people and they are quick to forgive. So,
well, look, man, you've been around long enough to come full circle, and it sounds like you got a pretty big appreciation for like the hip hop community.
I'm not saying I did any of the fights. I could get punched in the face and blow away in the breeze. I'm skinny now, and I was skinnier then.
Do you think that stuff's coming back at all? Do you have hopes for sort of the hip hop community to come back together like it was in the past?
I don't think it's like, I'm not saying that it's destroyed or like it's not there. I still feel like there's a lot of support amongst the hip hop scene. I get a lot of support from rappers I really respect and from just awesome people. Like I'm grateful for every bit of support that I get, and I show support back to rappers I respect and rappers I like, and I feel like I do feel like that still exists in the scene. But I guess with social media, with the sort of declining of ciphers, the declining of battles, the sort of declining of the less impact on live music, and less emphasis, on live music and DJs and things like that. I think maybe that's why people love Posse Shot so much. Really sort of emphasis the old school style thing. They're more like, we're going to put a free. I heard they put a free gig on at some place in Melbourne, and just. So yeah, I guess I've got hope. I think I've got hopes for. I don't think no, I don't actually. So it'll never go back to the way it was because because time doesn't go backwards. Things may become full circle. Maybe it'll feel similar to the way it used to be. And I'm not whinging and saying it should be the way it used to be. It's beautiful the way it is now because it's bigger than it. And probably the reason it is the way it is now instead of the way it used to be is because it's been successful. It's bigger. People are doing well and people are busy and which is good. This is what everyone was hoping for. This is, so of course there's going to be some people who haven't blown up to Cursor or Greeley or Hooligan Hefts or 1-4 levels, and they're going to be like, the scene is not what it used to be. It's dead. It's shit. And maybe they have other reasons for feeling that way, but fuck, I empathize. I empathize with the feeling of not getting the fucking props you deserve or feeling like the scene isn't making the music you want to hear, and for you, the scene you used to love is dying. But another way of looking at it is just that the scene is more varied than it's ever been. The scene's more multicultural than it's ever been. The scene's got more different styles of music in it than ever before. I didn't think I'd ever hear Aussie trap music or Aussie drill music or anything like that. And, I guess it all comes down to don't be a hater.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree. Well said, man. Well said. Well, what do you plan, creatively? Do you plan for the future, 6 months, a year? Do you have other projects that you're sort of working on that you think want to get out there? Or
I don't usually, but I do have. Yeah, I've got 2 singles hopefully coming out, then another album called I'm Not Home Right Now, which if I'm lucky will be out January, February. But play a Krumbs single coming out soon. Then a single called I Hate Cops coming out after that. Then hopefully another single, which will be a collab with 2 rappers who I love very much. Then hopefully an album. But we take what life throws at us, don't we? So we'll see what happens.
100%. And maybe some live shows next year, hopefully, eh?
Oh, yes. Goddamn, let's do something like that. If I can't find any, I'll do the Posse Shot thing and I'll just fucking do something at the Newtown Neighbourhood Centre.
Yeah, grassroots, brother. That's the way to go.
I'll tell everyone I'm busking and I'll just turn it into a live show.
Yeah, I reckon this city needs more of that shit, man, for sure. You played a couple of freshly squeezed shows that Peace Murph used to put on. They were fantastic, man. It'd be good if some nights came back to sort of showcase Sydney MCs and DJs and
a fucking Garden of Roses. That fella, man. He fucking does so much for the scene and so much for the culture. Like he's probably one of the most selfless fucking fellas that I've met in the scene. He's all like he's always put on some great gigs and he's always fucking made great music too. But more than that, he's really about good vibes, that guy. He's a fucking champion. Everyone should go check out his shop, Scratches Records, which is also his label, I believe. Scratches Records, behind Clem's Chicken in Newtown. A cool shop with some cool vinyl and some cool hats. The only place where you can actually still buy CDs of PK Crew Futures Dark. So
there you go. You heard it here first. I was going to ask you, have you got any merch floating around out there? Do you do CDs and shit like that?
Yeah, I'm going to have to get some more merch sorted out because I ain't got one CD or anything with it. I'm going to have to do something.
What's your opinions on sort of the online environment that hip hop lives in at the moment? Because obviously it helps with getting exposure, but as we're sort of talking about, it's kind of taking the place of a lot of live music, I guess. Did you ever think about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess. Well, the effect that, social media and the online presence of, hip hop, the effect that it's had on hip hop is the same, but social media and the internet has had on everything. Everything's fucking on the internet these days. It's all friggin'. And in a way, that's awesome because it means that people in Alaska and people in fucking, people who, whatever, live in a cave or some shit like that can probably get internet access and probably see some shit that otherwise they would never hear. It's like, I think Chuck D had a great quote where they said, are you worried about music piracy? Which I guess creates similar problems to, social media and SoundCloud and whatever else. And he said, I'm not worried because I think that in this new environment, people will seek out something they love rather than listening to something they've been made to like. And I do think that's happening more now. I think it's more, I can see this perspective of it being harder for people, especially for people who sort of are, more old school, like are more used to, building up their rep at gigs, release a single, release an album, blah, 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 blah. They might sort of think it's a bit kind of fucked up and maybe wrong that an artist can never do a show and just release one song and get 1 million views, go viral and suddenly be bigger than, sliced bread. Internet is also an open place, and social media also gives cowards the chance to say cruel and hurtful things that would otherwise get their teeth knocked out without the risk of getting their teeth knocked out. And I'm sure that's stressful for genuine people and upstanding people and people who, who say what they mean and mean what they say. But shit, there's people like that everywhere. You know what I mean? There's fucking, before there was the social media, there was people who would tell you, that was a great gig, and then fucking tell all your mates afterwards, look, he's shit. Shit cunts are just everywhere. Of course, there will be shit cunts and there will be shit aspects of the online, the online environment. But we make our own fucking goodness and bad. It's all perspective, man. It's all like if you decide to yourself this is the best thing that's happened for music, then you can make it that. If you've decided for yourself that it's going to destroy everything that's good about music, then it might do that for you too.
I can see some books behind you there. Are you a reading man, are you?
No, I like people to think I'm a reading man.
Me too sometimes. I listen to books these days. I don't sit down and read them. I just listen to them.
I recommend this to everyone in the fucking world. Bill Bryson's A Short History of Nearly Everything. I know it doesn't look short. This is so good.
I've heard of that.
It tells you things about like the size of the planets. Like it's got a big, a page-long paragraph that says if the letter at the start of this paragraph was our nearest planet, then the Earth would be the full stop at the end of this page. All this kind of mind-blowing shit. Yeah, I follow the International Space Station on Instagram when I feel like being amazed at the world. Oh yeah,
you can look up and see it every now and again, can't you?
Nah, not with the street lights. Big shout outs to KO, big shout outs to PK Crew, shout outs to DJ Dodgy, shout outs to every single one of you. Rest in peace to Skeppers, shout outs to Subsea. Fucking god damn it. Rest in peace to Sherry, free Simo. Free everyone and rest in peace to you all. Fucking let's not think about how tragic life is. Thank you so much for having me and thank you for listening to it.
Well, listen, man, you're a fucking legend and you've been working hard for a long time, bro.
You are a legend, bro. And thank you so much for having me, bro. I truly appreciate it. And it's been a fun chat and a lively experience. It has, man. It has. And I look forward to seeing you in person. And why don't you tell everyone where they can find your music, your Patreon and all that type of thing? Okay, so just search Benji Pk on Google. You'll find most of it. But also, if you just go to Linktree/Benji Pk, which is linktr.ee/Benji, BENJI and that'll have the links to all my good shit. Well, listen, bro, keep making music. You're doing good things, brother. And brother, you keep doing this awesome podcast as well, and I will keep listening. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Lead Poison Podcast.
Okay.